Okay, welcome everybody. Let's go over the board. I think there was no progress on this, but let's check. Oh.
No news.
No news.
Mm.
You reached out last week?
Yeah, when we talk about it, I've pinged him and received no answer.
Okay. Yeah, so there has been some progress made on the political side of this, but nothing to share yet. But there has been some movement going on because of the cloud.gov involvement. So that's interesting, but the PR just needs to be refactored. So we had a discussion about the what to do with the registry removal, and especially how to announce these things. This will break V1 compatibility, so we will do we will bump the version number and do at least mention it in the release notes. But there were also ideas of maybe doing like a deprecation warning first and those types of things. But since it has been, the V2 API has been out for such a long time, it doesn't make sense, right? We have .soft layer that this will affect them.
I can't imagine who is still using V1.
Yeah, I mean, that was the main our main concern. Also, like, nobody is using this, and it would be expensive to add that, right? Because that would mean we would have a deprecation warning now, and then we would have to wait some time during which we would have to keep this pull request open and rebase it and everything. It's just too much work. So we will just continue with this work, merge it once it's approved, and then release it and mention it in the release notes. Yeah, this PR came in this week. Already briefly looked at it. The initial implementation, which was just a for loop, mentioned that it's good to use the retry strategy. It was refactored already, and now it's ready for review.
All right.
So pretty simple change.
Yeah, we've had very strange LWS behaviors and annoying ones. So hoping this could fix the problem.
Yeah. Ramon has been working on steadily going on with this Ruby 3.1 bumps everywhere.
Forcing you all.
Yes, this is the one for the Azure CPI. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, there's an okay.
85 is changed. That's quite huge.
Yeah, this is so annoying. With the new MacBooks, is now M1, and yeah. We are going to have a lot of these issues in the near future.
That's yeah.
So, can you look at that, Ramon?
Yeah, I will take a look at it. I now also
because you have one, right?
I now have also an M1 MacBook. Oh crap!
Dedicated M1 tester.
No. Yeah, we'll take a look at it. I'll put it on.
I won't touch that M1 with a 20-foot pole. Yeah, okay. So that's just a comment from Long. Okay. Yeah, I did this. I found it annoying that we keep getting all these gems that are like really machine specific. I mean, sometimes we have dips because of paths path changed. It's like
Yeah.
hard coded to someone's machine and stuff. So they should definitely not be in here.
Hey, it's a cache anyway, so.
No, I mean, like the cache is fine because we have in the cache directory, there's all the gems, but there's some the extensions that are built, the C extensions for
Yeah,
the
so
Ruby stuff.
basically,
That should be ignored.
when you run this, it will be created again once you run bundle install.
Yeah. Once you do bundle install, it installs it, but it's machine specific, this directory, so it should never be committed. So I removed all the stuff that was there in one commit and then ignored the direct. We were already ignoring it, but then for Darwin and a really specific version, and that version apparently increments and stuff. So yeah, or I just made a star.
Yeah, I thought we had made a star only for the last figure, but if it makes sense to put a star,
Linux stuff and there's Darwin stuff in that directory. So
all right. Okay.
So Darwin is for OS X, and now we get that ARM for the M1 laptops, and we will have the x86 Linux. You will have many of those.
Yeah.
But does it make sense to put a star in the end? You could even remove the star in terms of globs inside git ignore.
Oh yeah, you could also just ignore the directory.
Yeah, I mean the star is not really relevant.
No,
just yeah, right. Okay.
I think there were more things in this file that had a star. That's why I did it.
Possibly. Well, yeah. Usually people don't pay that attention to the correctness of the globs.
You're right. Right here we also have just a directory.
Yeah.
Well, I'm fine. If you want that change, comment, and then I will make the change. Then we can get this through. And then we have another Ruby 3.1. Which was already approved by Long.
Nice.
Fast, by the way.
Yeah. So yeah, it's that's basically the theme. We have a few old things that are still stuck, and we have the Ruby 3.1 stuff. Yeah, that's it. Let's go over the issues, see if there's something there that has been updated. So last time we went over this was the 3rd. Oh, there's new stuff in the inbox. That's nice. Yes. Yes, this was reported. I assigned it to Connie. I think this is prioritized, right? We want to fix this. We should look into this.
Yes, but this is the Azure CPI is not even released yet. Oh no, this is for Bionic, and he's putting it on.
No, this is Jammy. This is Jammy on Azure.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think so. Once the CPI request on a Jammy stem cell which uses OpenSSL, I think this is
No, I mean this is just using a director that is probably on Bionic.
Oh, okay.
To deploy a Jammy stem cell.
Oh, okay.
So this is not about Jammy CPI compatibility. It's about Azure Jammy compatibility.
Oh, this is specifically. Oh, okay. Yeah, I see.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe there's actually something Is this something you all want to pull in the backlog? Because you have Azure environments and stuff.
I don't have Azure environments.
No, I thought SAP had Azure environment.
They do somewhere, but I don't have access
Okay.
to it.
Okay, we have an Azure director, so I think it should be pretty easy for us to test.
They do this. It's SAP is running on Ali Cloud, Azure, AWS, and GCP.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't have access. I probably do have access, but how and where? And
I know how to get we have access to an Azure environment. That should be pretty easy to verify this one. So I will keep this assigned to Gunny. You can look into it.
Yeah, open for pull request. I don't know.
This seems to be.
Is that no longer needed? I mean, I thought that was at some point a requirement, right, on Azure.
It was
AWS.
It was a requirement for AWS for the default key name always, but I don't know.
Need some more investigation.
Yeah. He says, and we can tell Bosch it isn't leveraging it because it doesn't ask for the private key, but the private key is used by the other Bosch stem cells to contact.
No.
Wasn't it?
It just creates the instance with this private key.
But public key? No, it's a SSH public
It's a public.
key.
It's a public key that is default key name. So it puts in the public key.
Yeah.
So the description is wrong when saying default SSH key pair, because you would never put any private key here. You just need the public key to be set. Yeah.
No, but I mean, like, if you don't supply the private key, it means that Bosch doesn't require it, right? Bosch is not using that key pair.
Well, operators may be using it to connect to the instance, I guess.
Who is?
You think? Operators, then in case of emergency, operators can use the private key.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, like, that's a choice.
Yeah.
They could also use Bosch SSH.
Yeah. Yeah, it's strange that it's required. Well, need to be investigated. Yeah, sure.
Is it required? I think it's required here, as in doesn't provide any defaults. So it will error if it's not provided.
Yeah. Doesn't accept null.
That would be good context to have, I guess.
Mhm.
Olivier Grand. I've trained him to Bosch.
You see, meaning that match rotation that we fixed.
Hi, Felix. Oh, still connecting with audio.
Usually that kind of error means
The agent
some
is still
pre-start.
starting, right?
Yeah, agent should be fine. Well, if he can type monit summary, then it means he could push SSH, so the agent is there. But some pre-start scripts may have failed, and pre-start script happen before setting up monit files, monit configuration, before gathering monit configurations. So it seems some pre-start script may have failed.
I think we're not even in the pre-start scripts, because if there are no monet files, I think then the agent has not been properly started yet to.
Oh, no. The monet files are gathered. Well,
It says including files, not monet jobs, monet RC are not found.
yeah, they are gathered from jobs at a certain point, but it happens after successfully executing the pre-start scripts. Definitely.
Oh, okay.
Je kan gewoon op cancel drukken. Okay. We would need so you would say a monet log or an agent log? Or both?
I think we at least need the agent logs. And then any other pre-start logs that are in the /var logs. var vcap sys logs.
I would personally, I would ask if he has had any issues with pre-start script. But yeah, ask your questions.
Do you want to know the location?
Okay, let's see what else. Oh wait, so this is an hour in discussion.
Bayan is already on it, seems.
It's Azure, right? How is it called there? Security rules, firewall rules, or I mean IO timeout. That's a firewall you're hitting, right? Okay.
You can, yeah.
I mean this is just basic setup issues. This is not a bug.
I hope he translates firewall rules to security groups properly.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, you can put both actually, both are.
Okay.
Because I think,
See,
yeah,
is
in
there
Azure it's called
anything else
security
that
group.
has been updated since?
Yeah, no, no news on that. But unfortunately, but
Yeah, I mean this will be. I don't know how to continue here. Leave it like this. Director's missing. Oh yeah, that one.
yeah, I need to check out. But I will have some time soon to refresh my environments and
Okay.
bump everything and etc. I've delayed that way too much, but
Oh, no.
this is going to happen. Yeah.
That we discussed already. That one has been prioritized in the backlog. And that one was closed or something. Okay. I think that's it. Is there anything else people want to discuss?
We've had at SAP concern with related to semantics with Bosch stop or Bosch
Oh, yeah.
ignore. I guess we could take a step back and think of the semantics, what it means, an instance that is stopped. And I've commented in the issue from Felix about that. And the basic problem is that usually when you Bosch deploy, you get positive or negative feedback about jobs starting or not.
Mm-hmm.
And with a stopped instance, you cannot get that feedback. But we could possibly assume that the feedback is successful and delay any errors starting the jobs for later. I'm raising another problem we've had when debugging a Bosch issue. Well, it was that one deployment has a VM that was stopped. The deployment was updated, removing some unnecessary Bosch release. And in Bosch releases and Bosch deployments, the deployment appears as not being used, not using this Bosch release anymore. But when we try to delete the Bosch release, there is still a relation in the database because the instance that was stopped is actually still related to the Bosch release in the database, even if that doesn't show up in the Bosch release's CLI call.
Is that like a separate bug?
Yeah, it's a separate bug that we've not reported yet.
Okay, it would be nice to have because.
But yeah, just makes me feel that we should define the semantics of a stop instance.
Mm-hmm.
Or ignored instance is quite the same. And there, SAP, it's clearer now there with that comment what they try to do.
Yeah. So for us, it was a working scenario which now just stopped, and I mean, we could consider providing such flag to get this resolved quickly so that we can upgrade again. I think, Benjamin, you bring up a broader discussion, I guess, right?
Mm.
Or is it that you express concerns regarding the include stopped flag that you think it might cause other problems? Or
yeah, I just feel that we are trying to duct tape a bigger problem. We are trying to duct tape a small issue, whereas we have a bigger problem with semantics of what we are dealing with overall. So and the correct solution would be to be clear about what it means for Bosch and how Bosch should behave with stop instances and ignore instances. Possibly in the way of not erroring when running an errand on a stop instance. But here there are inconsistencies right now because the stop instance is not updated by when Bosch deploying, and yet you try to execute something on it, which may be stale. So yeah, we currently do have inconsistencies. So I suggest we should solve those inconsistencies first before implementing a quick fix. yet another, I mean.
It would at least be good, I think, if the other the issue that you mentioned would be reported separately, because then we have all the, because otherwise it would pollute this thread, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so from our perspective, like we won't implement the additional flag in the next 2 or 3 weeks. So I guess there's time to get a better understanding what might be the goal. But our intention, of course, is at some point to be able to upgrade again, because I don't expect big changes on that service fabric algorithm side of things.
Yes,
but
so
they
this
could,
is currently
could adopt such a flag.
Okay. So you're planning on working on a PR to fix this, but you first need to get some guidance on the desired implementation direction, right?
Yeah, I mean, if it's clear how the flag would look like, then we have something where we can work on. But I mean, Benjamin brought up some concerns which might be related to the general stop behavior, which I cannot judge, to be honest. But that's maybe something also you should make up your mind on VMware side at some point in time, whether they are valid or not.
Yeah, well,
and we could also discuss whether we revert the original change and bring it back once this is clarified so that we can upgrade. It's also an option, I guess, depending on the time frames.
Yeah, I think the the reason for doing this is because it costs us a lot of support, or I mean a lot, but I mean we have instances where people are doing this unintentionally.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, that's causing.
Yeah, it's a bug which other people use as feature. I can see that.
Yeah. But how do you make sure in the case of Service Fabric that you don't run with outdated code, so that
yeah, so it's from another part of the company, so I'm not entirely sure. I think they have orchestrated everything as they need in Service Fabric to ensure that.
So I mean, when he says stop BOSH deployment, does he mean stop the instance? Create a disk for restore, attach the disk to the BOSH instance, I assume.
Probably they,
Run
probably
the BOSH
they stop
errand,
yeah.
and then start the instance. But I mean, like last time that we talked about this, I think the idea was this stopping. So the last discussion we had here was that relying on BOSH stop to stop the service, right? Because the thing Brehan brought up was that a use case for this, for stop doing a BOSH stop before doing an running an errand, would be that you want to restore something and you don't want the service to be running during the restore, right? But actually, the errand can just call out to Monit to stop things, right? If it relies on things, the errand should be like fully self-contained, ideally, right? It shouldn't have other, because at this point you have something else interacting with BOSH, and because of that, it is safe to run that errand because you know the other stuff is in that state. But ideally, you would be able to just run the errand. That's like the expected model from BOSH, right? You should be able to just run an errand, and then the errand should take care of stopping all the things that need to be stopped when running, right? So this feels like a code smell in the release, like having to rely on a BOSH stop. It's something you cannot guarantee. Like if you do it properly, the errand should error if the service is not running. And if you're checking that anyway, then you could also just stop it.
Yeah, maybe. So I'm not super deeply in how they structured their release. They basically said like, we cannot, it doesn't run anymore. You upgraded something, please revert it. And I'm trying to understand the use case, but I can see your point. Yes. Might be an approach, I'm not sure, yeah. So they would need to go through Monit on the VM via the errand and stop things. Would BOSH accept that, or would it interfere from the outside?
No, there's other things that do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I can reach out to rediscuss it with them and come back with it. Yeah.
I mean, I think we had this discussion last week. I didn't remember it, but now it's coming back.
Yeah.
But
all right.
That was the consensus back then. Like we couldn't come up with a use case that wouldn't be better solved within the errand itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, BBR is using errands for locking and unlocking.
It's not using errands, it's using scripts, right? It's calling hook scripts on the instances itself.
Ah, right, okay.
Okay, but that basically means that from your perspective, this additional flag is off the table or could still be an accepted workaround?
It is off the table until we find like a proper use case, right? We need to identify a use case that is like not solvable in another way. And I haven't, like, if I look at this, I don't think this should be better solved in the errand itself.
Yeah, okay. Could someone with experience on some releases would do it adequately summarize this in this item? So we have a clear message that I can bring to them how they would need to change things.
Yes, I can do that.
Okay, great. Yeah, thanks.
Okay, if there's nothing else, then I think we can end it here.
Yeah, we still have this PR open for BOSH agent retry stuff. Team will provide more details about the scenario. I think that's one thing that's open. But yeah, you will see then.
Yeah, I got our details already, I think, from Benjamin or Ramon.
Okay.
So,
okay. All right.
And it was refactored, so it's currently being reviewed.
Okay, great. All right, thanks.
Yeah, I only have a question for Chris, but I think we can do it outside of this recording.
Okay. Bye, people.
Yeah, thank you,
Bye-bye.
guys.